when it comes to robo-umps, I don't think it's gonna help the game.
They're getting balls a foot off the plate.
Challenges. And the player has to challenge.
It's gonna change the whole game.
I'm walking back to the dugout and I don't even know like what to blame.
AAA guys, good luck.
So, Johnny, I'm going to toss it to you. What do you think, from a hitter's perspective, on the robo-ump issue?
I think as a whole it jumps out to where it would benefit the hitter.
Do you think it benefits the hitter?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think, I don't know the data on it, but probably more missed calls, right, would be off the plate than on the plate. So, I mean, a 1-1 count, if it's off, right, it gets you to 2-1.
Versus 1-2,
Versus
biggest swing
1-2,
count.
the
Yeah.
biggest swing count, right?
Yeah.
And how do you get there? On a ball is you either chase it or the umpire calls it a strike when it's a ball.
Yeah.
And now that's not going to happen.
So, here's the three-dimensional aspect of it. Like, that curveball that clips the top part of the zone at the back corner of the plate is going to be a strike. Chris Sale's slider that comes from over here that the catcher is going to be down blocking in the right-handed batter's box that clips the front corner, that's going to be a strike.
Yep.
Like, so you think that the inch or two off the plate, getting those calls in your favor is going to outweigh the oh, I just literally can't hit that pitch, but it's a strike?
I think as a whole, you're screwed against the aces.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, that's
no
a
matter-
fair point.
Yeah.
I've always been kind of in favor of having that buffer zone. So let's say 3 inches off, 3 inches on. That's umpire calls it, his discretion, but then you use the heart of the plate or the egregious ones. Okay, that was literally right down the middle and you called it a ball, that's a strike. Or that ball bounced, that's a ball. I think there was one, was it Joe Nathan or something? Remember
For
that?
the curveball.
That ended a game or something that was
bends over.
just
In Texas.
literally never close.
Yeah.
I saw a Atlantic League game one time, which they were doing a robo zone, whatever, for a year before or whatever, and I saw literally a catcher catch a ball like this, breaking ball, of course, clipped it, called it a strike, and hitter just you fucking serious right now?
Yeah.
And he's just but there's nothing, umpire could do nothing about it because he's dude, I literally I'm just relaying the sign. I'm just relaying whatever they're calling.
Yeah.
So it's not the umpire's fault, but also now what's to blame there? The system itself is not perfect. To me, if a catcher catches like this, that ain't a strike. It doesn't matter where the fuck it clips on the fucking zone, in my opinion.
If I'm a hitter and what Sim was saying, and the catcher catches the ball off the dirt, but it clips the bottom part of the plate, I'm walking back to the dugout and I don't even know what to blame.
Right.
I can't blame myself because I'm not going to hit that pitch anyway.
No.
I can't blame an umpire for making it back. I can't do anything.
Yeah, well, you can't adjust really too in a lot of ways. If you move all the way up in the zone to take away the curveball that nicks the bottom of it, where you can get in the hitting zone. Well, now the one that hits the back of the zone is
That's what I'm saying. It
so
changes the
far up.
entire strategy of hitting.
Yeah.
And Johnny, you've hit in the big leagues for a long time, but especially when you get to higher levels, the strategy, that's how they attack guys. I mean, you're the same way, right? Even when I caught in AAA compared to low A, AAA is all about fucking strategy and going with your, they have a plan with every hitter.
Yeah.
Now that whole thing changes whether you're a hitter or a pitcher, so it's gonna change the whole game.
Another thing I was thinking about too is I know they're trying to change the pace of the game too, right? But I don't know if it was you that was telling me, but they watched a fall league game where they're doing the robot zone, and they were the umpire was taking forever to call a ball or strike. And I mean, if you're trying to speed up the game or slow it down, I mean, as a pitcher, I feel it'd be kind of frustrating if you're waiting for 5 to 10 seconds every time.
Well, especially if you have 15 seconds, right? So
Yeah.
if you have 15 seconds to throw it, you throw the pitch, you got to get the ball back, you got to know the count so you know what to call next.
Yeah.
But if it takes 5 seconds to get the call, does that?
I don't want to be throwing a pitch every 45 seconds, but I don't
Yeah.
want to be throwing a pitch and have to rush myself every time, not really think about the
Well,
process.
it's the thing too, you're rushing to throw,
Yeah.
but now you gotta wait 5 seconds for a fucking umpire to get a call from where the fuck they're getting the signal from, you know what I'm saying, whether it's
Yeah.
New York or whatever the fuck. And you're just you're right, are we trying to speed up the game or are we trying to slow it down?
Yeah.
Do you think this incentivizes hitters to swing less?
Yes.
'Cause that's one of the biggest things that they're trying to get back into the game is more balls in play.
Right.
And hitters right now are the 3 true outcomes, right? If you get a pitch in the middle, hit a homer. if it's not a pitch you can hit a homer, take it, because if you strike out on a pitch, like, you're going to be out anyway, right? And then you're going to increase walks.
Right.
So like that's the formula right now. Whereas you look at baseball in the 90s, you see some of those highlight tapes of Greg Maddux and Glavine, they're getting balls a foot off the plate, right?
Right.
So the hitters went up there knowing, like, I got to swing the bat. Right? I got to put the ball in play, because like that's going to be a strike. I don't know what the strike zone is. So if I see a pitch that I think I can get the barrel on, I got to go, right?
Yeah.
Now you got such a small zone that, I mean, hitters are going to be taking balls that are like so close.
Yeah.
That's going to be a ball, and then you're going to walk more. So walks are going to become like more prevalent, right? And then like pitchers are like, well, fuck, I'm tired of walking people, so they're going to put the ball a little bit more on the plate, which is going to be like make homers more prevalent. But you're going to be taking, like, hitters are only going to be swinging at the center, maybe 10 inches of the zone.
Exactly.
And so you're going to get less swings, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, that ball 4 inches out is now 100% of the time a ball.
Right.
When it's almost who's behind home plate. You know, I mean, in the big leagues, you know, you have heat maps on the umpires.
Yeah.
Right? Due to his stance, he can't see this ball, and it's human element, whatever. Now the heat maps are gone.
Right.
It's just,
Do you think this affects umpires at lower levels? So, like, if you get to the big leagues and you don't have to call balls and strikes, what do you do as an umpire?
Right.
I mean, that's primarily their job. Like, sure, you're first base, you call them safe or out, call the foul line. There's value in that, of course. But like the majority of your job was calling balls and strikes. So now how are the umpires in AAA going to be evaluated to be to elevate it to the big leagues?
Right.
what makes you good?
Yeah, why are you going to be an umpire?
Is there pay cut too? Because they're just standing there.
It's got to be. You can put anyone back there.
You could literally, honestly, I could put the headphone in your ear and just be like,
just let the
strike,
catcher
it's a
do it.
ball. Sorry, brother, I'm just listening. Like,
Yeah.
That's literally what happened. I saw a video like a night. That's exactly what happened. The umpire is like, you know, and then hitter just like, and it's like walk back, and it's just like, the whole stadium was just like, what the fuck? There's like a pause. I could feel it.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
And I could tell the fear. Like, this is actually gonna happen in the fucking big leagues, not a fuck nowhere in Indy ball. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if you went the opposite way, you said screw the robot ump, umpires call more, like make the strike zone bigger. Like, that would obviously incentivize hitters to swing at more pitches. There'd be more balls in play. But do you think the stuff is too nasty to like? Do you think that would even make offense go down even more? Because now you're swinging at like better stuff that's further away from the hitting zone, but you have to swing at it.
Well, what if you expanded it and lowered the mound 5 inches?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
maybe,
you move it back 10 feet.
we don't even want to talk
60,
about
60,
moving that stuff.
the
I don't like
61
moving it
feet.
back. I
That's-
don't like moving it back, but I think if you were to move it down and expand it. But what I would like is challenges,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
As a hitter, and the player has to challenge
I think that's
the player.
That's
right. And then
that's been my thing on like first base challenges, tag you're out, like
Yeah.
whatever. Like if you really think he's out,
Yeah.
then you challenge it on the field, and every player knows we got 1 or 2 challenges.
Yes,
So
right.
don't
Like,
fuck it
a
up.
close call,
We're
and he
not-
steps out and he's looking at his coach doing this.
We're gonna waste 30 seconds
Yeah.
while the video guide reviews it, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, challenge it." So now the
Yeah.
umpire's gonna run over or
Yeah.
walk over. You know,
And
Joe
it's
West
not,
is gonna waddle
it's not
over.
that long, right? Ball goes by, strike. I go, no, challenge it. He gets it in his ear. You're right.
5
We're-
seconds.
We're fucking right back. You
Yeah.
don't have to go to the deal. You don't have to go to this. And I think that would separate good umpires, right?
Yeah.
So this guy only has 10 overturned calls.
Yeah.
And now let's value those guys. Let's pay them more, the good ones. Let's
I'm
get rid of the
so
shitty
in
ones.
on that.
That would,
Right.
yeah, that
That's
would
a great
actually
idea.
probably.
And you get,
really
I don't know,
expose
X
the good
amount
and bad ones.
a game, or even X amount per hitter. Maybe you get 2 per hitter. And if you're wrong, you whatever. If you're
Yeah,
right, you keep them.
Yeah, you get like 8 missed challenges a game, or 5 missed challenges a game as a team, or something
Yeah.
like that. And the hitter can only only be wrong once in a bat
yeah,
or
and
whatever.
that fucking ball right down the middle. They call the strike, and he argues, and boom, and you go back, and you're like, are you blind?
Yeah.
You just challenge the ball right down the middle.
Yeah.
And now it just holds everyone accountable.
Yeah.
And separates good from bad real quick.
I think that's the way. If it's going to be done, I think that's the way it has to be done.
Yeah, I think.
And you put it in the player's hands. You put it in the umpire's hands. It's a quick. Hitters and umpires are talking all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, where you got that? Is that the edge? Is you going to go any more than that? Is that down? Like, I had that a little bit off or whatever. So now it's just like, hey, challenge that. He goes, Yep. All right. Strike. You're right. Okay. Cool.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah. I think that's how it has to be done. And honestly, I'm in favor of that for all challenges across the board. Like, put it in the player's hands. The players know if he was safe, he was out. If it was a ball, if it was a strike. If it was fair, or if it was foul. Like, players got to challenge it.
Yeah.
You can't have the replay guy up there like,
Yeah.
oh, did his cleat come up this much off the bag? Can I see underneath there? Did the string of his like?
It's
fuck
crazy how valuable that guy is now.
Yeah.
To have a good, friggin' fast rewind.
It's a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
People are out there hiring like
Totally.
because it changes games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in favor of that for sure, and I hope that they get to that point where they put it in, and they're like, okay, there's some problems here, and they actually listen to the players who I haven't heard a player yet that like legitimately wants it.
But it's crazy. You ask yourself, like, why? Why is this happening? You know? And it sucks. I don't know if you catch grief from it, but it's like, maybe because they're not doing a good job. Right? I mean, if they're nailing every call, and you wouldn't need a robot ump, and you wouldn't need replay.
That's one thing I stand with too. Is like, instead of this robo umps, right? I think, why don't we put a more emphasis on developing better umpires? Because the talks are coming out because umpires are shit, and you should be good at their jobs, right? Like,
When you have 85% success rate on calling stuff, like that's an issue.
Right.
If you're missing 15% of the calls, right?
And that's the thing
The
with the big
umpires
league
that are missing,
umpires.
the umpires are missing 3%, 2% of the calls. Like,
Yeah.
okay, man. Like, okay, it happens at the worst possible time, and it's your third blown call game. Like, I get that it's going to be scrutinized or whatever, but if
Right.
you're 97%, like we have the technology to evaluate them after the game.
right.
So like, let's put a relegation system in or something. So the bottom 20% of strike callers, like, you go back to AAA or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Or don't do the plate.
or don't do the plate. Yeah.
And I think holding them accountable that way is going to be a better option than implementing something like robo umps and have a whole lot of other problems, whether it's like catching like this and then like, ball clipping or whatever the fuck, with all the delays of the game, and also like there are a lot of problems that could occur just with implementing robo umps. Instead of that, why don't we just get better fucking umpires? So right now, big league umpires, some of these are ones that they're in the game for like 20, 30 years. I don't know if they can see the ball. Seriously, I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't know. Like I don't think they can see, because some of the calls they're making are fucking trash.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're like that, then you gotta have a little bit of more accountability.
Yeah. As a catcher, like, challenge rule, good. Like, you catch a ball, you're like, hey, I got that there. I think it's a strike. Challenge it. Like,
I like that rule.
I like that.
rule a lot, because I truly think I get it. I feel like I'm really good about it too, because like in the past, like I'll catch a ball that's like a couple balls off, and I hear my manager in the dugout just ripping the umpire. I know it's off. So if I had that ability to just like say yes or no, like, because I'm the one that really knows, like, I can see the plate.
Yeah.
Nobody can see from the sides where the plate actually is. They can
Right.
only see the height. So if I'm set up off the plate and it's good height in the strike zone, but I'm actually off the plate, it looks like a strike to them, but I can see that it's actually 3 or 4 balls off.
Right.
yeah.
So I think if I had the ability to be like, I have that as a strike, I can honestly probably get a lot more pitches.
Yeah.
100%.
I like that too. And I mean, for our game, that's another win-lose on the line, right? You get
Yeah.
to see more, win-lose throughout the game.
Yeah. I think the trouble with it from a fan base perspective, how do you explain to fans who've been watching baseball for 100 years what the fuck's going on now? Like, how do you explain that to fans?
Yeah.
Like, oh, the umpires, that ball bounced. That's not a strike. It's like, remember when they tried to put in the rule where you had to catch the ball, take 2 steps, clean exchange, right? So someone catches the ball, runs 2 steps, hits the wall, stops, crow hops, goes to throw it, and like drops it.
No.
Oh, he's safe. Like, that got banged real quick because it's just like they didn't think about it all the way through. I think they're gonna have a similar problem here. Like,
There's so many things we could change in the game of baseball. Now, if we do them all, then it's not baseball no more. You know, like, and so like I'm not big into analytics. Whatever that can help you, do it. Now, when it comes to robo umps, I don't think it's gonna help the game. I don't think it, and it eliminates a lot of the part of the game that's been cherished, like catching.
that's why I think the challenge idea is like the way it has to go. You give catchers a certain amount of challenges, you give hitters a certain amount of challenges, and then like if the 6th inning comes around and you've used all your challenges, your catcher's fucking valuable now.
I was gonna say,
whack,
that's
whack,
value to
you
the
know?
catcher.
And again, I think it's more than just like for example, tennis. I've seen a lot of examples. Oh, tennis, they use that and it's great. that's black and white. This is not. I think this will have way more. Like Johnny said, trickle down effect of it just changed the whole game.
I think left and right is pretty black and white. I mean, you have the plate; it's always the same size, right? But your up and down is completely all over the place based on who comes up.
I got a greasy buddy back home that knows all the umpires, hands down. And he gambles on baseball due to who's behind the plate for the over-under.
That's crazy.
It was really successful.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that was an option, but like now that's gone. Now you're into the betting world.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it changes the industry. It changed the umpire industry, changed betting industry, baseball industry, fans, like
Player development.
scouting, everything.
It's crazy. One little thing that we think is like, oh, it's just we get more strikes and balls or whatever, more strike balls or whatever, but it has so much effect on the whole entire game.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
no doubt. Anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comments, in favor of it or not in favor of it, and what are the biggest
We're gonna
changes
go
that
thumb
you
up
think?
or thumb down. Do you agree with it or do you not agree with it?
Here's my answer.
For sure, no. AAA guys, good luck.
Yeah,
Yeah, good luck.
that's all we got.
Just play better. Just
Yeah,
go
you don't like it, play better. That's better.